This video is capturing the morning routine for the field manager. It all starts with this book right here in the first page, which is labeled Monday Daily Rhythm. The first thing we do is we come out into the shop and we are going to inspect the charging table. Now, the crews are all out in the field right now, so the charging table is fairly empty, but what we're looking for is we should see 3 headsets here, and we should see a total of 6 handheld walkie-talkies right here, and our keys, which are labeled for each vehicle, should be found right here. Every day, these keys should be returned back to the table to get the employees used to the habit of returning their equipment back to the charging table. We also need to check our sniffers. We have a total of 5. They should be plugged in and charging, and they are all each numbered so that if one is missing, you can tell exactly which number is missing. We should have 3 iPads, which should also be plugged in. We will soon raise that up to 4. And finally, we should have a total of 5 flashlights. Same thing, they are each numbered, so if one is missing, you can tell which one is missing. The next piece we check is this table. This table should be completely empty. As you can tell, this is completely full. There shouldn't be anything on this table for more than 1 day, possibly 2. The table is meant for planning and for delivering items. So if the field manager or if the owner wants to leave something for the employees, he can leave it here. So after you've inspected the charging table and the work table, making sure the charging table has nothing but what needs to be charged on it, we should not allow anyone to place tools or any other equipment on that charging table. For example, this should not be on the charging table. It goes on this table here, and then we ask the employees in the morning, what was that left on the table for? They will tell us, and then we let them know that that should no longer be on the table at the end of the day. After we inspect those 2 tables, we will next go to inspect the tracker board. The tracker board needs to be filled out at the end of every day. What we're looking for here is that the individual that's responsible for that televising vehicle has put in his footages for the day. As you can see, Sean and Adrian have not been putting in any footages at this time because they're all consolidated to support Kelly and Mike. As you can see, Kelly has been running the Vector, so he has not been putting in footage either, but he has been allocating the number of hours that he's working on those Vector. Mike has been putting in his footages, and you can see he needs to put in the footage that he got that day and how many hours he spent on the job. Terry comes out here each day at the end of each week and collects this information so that we can keep track of how much of the job is complete and how much and how well the crews are getting that work completed. After we've inspected the tables, the charging table and the workbench and the tracker board, we will now move to inspect the vehicles. We're looking for general cleanliness in the vehicle. We want to make sure that the camera is put up correctly, that the cord is not overextended or overbent. See, in this case, this should not be up. It should be held down. And so we'll go ahead and we'll readjust that. We'll make a note in our book to remind the guys that whoever operated TV4 left the cable up in the bent position, and we do not want that. We'll go inside and we'll inspect the floor to make sure it's clean of any unnecessary debris. For example, right here, this is not okay. A bunch of bolts and screws laying on the floor. So we'll have to consult the TV4 operator and let him know that those bolts and screws need to go in the proper workbench location. We're looking for anything like trash, cigarette butts, anything in that nature in the vehicle. We'll then come and we'll check the cab of the vehicle. The cab of the vehicle should also be clean. If we see anything that should not be there, we'll make a note of it on our inspection sheet. Like this lighter, we'll put it on the table or on the chair, and we'll let that operator know that they need to make sure that they keep their vehicle clean of any unnecessary debris. This vehicle generally looks very clean. After we're done inspecting vehicles, we will then move inside to check on on the time cards. Now, this entire time, in the back of the book, there are these sections. They're just notes, inspection checklists, as you can see, checklists. As you can see at the top, I write the date. And then the rest of the inspection sheet is captured. The rest of the sheet is capturing specific notes, shortages or fixes, anything we need to communicate to the crews in the morning. So after we're done in the shed, we then walk into the shop. First stop when we get into the shop is we're looking at the inbox. In the inbox, we're pulling out our time cards. So in this case, we're looking at Kelly's time card, and we can see that today's Tuesday. We can see that yesterday he did fill in his hours. Employees should be filling their hours each day so that they don't forget. Sometimes we'll get employees that will try to wait until the end of the week, and then they're unable to correctly fill in the time cards. If anything's not filled in, then that employee needs to be dressed that morning and inform them that they need to be filling in their time card at the end of each day. What we'll also want to check for here are receipts. So I don't see any receipts, which it is the end of the day, so it's possible that Terry picked them up this morning, but more than likely that means that employees forgot to drop off their receipts. It's not very often we go for a full day without having some type of transaction, at the very least a gas transaction. So there should be receipts in here every day. We'll also want to check for any time cards, any PTO requests that have been dropped in this inbox, and make sure Terry receives them after she is, when she gets in, so she can update accordingly. Once we check the, inspect the time cards, receipts, we also want to check the project book location. So all we're looking for here is to make sure that the books have been returned. Every day, employees should be returning their books here. We'll likely catch them and see them when we inspect the vehicles if one left them out there. If they did leave them out there, we need to remind them that every day at the end of the workday, the books need to be returned back to the shelf so that the project manager can reference them in the morning. Okay, once we are done with our inspections, we now move to our making a plan for the week. Again, this is Monday's weekly pattern. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use AccuWeather to identify what the weather will be for the week. And what we're looking to do is put the date for each day of the week, the low and the high temperature, and the percentage of precipitation. Percent chance of precipitation. Once you've done that for the whole week, remember, we don't just put weather up there for the sake of putting weather up there. We are looking for days that affect our operations. So in this case, it's winter. We're looking for freezing temperatures, and we're looking for high probability of snowfall. So as you can see, Friday, we anticipate it's going to likely be too cold to work. So our weekly plan needs to either have Friday off, or we need to have an alternate plan in the event we cannot work that day for shop maintenance. After we've identified the weather, now we reference our current operations tracker, basically what jobs we are focused on at this moment, and we make our plan. And our plan should be by the day. So we're briefing where each vehicle is going. We assign a name to that vehicle. The next piece we look at is we review our maintenance. We make sure our maintenance tracker is all up to date. If anything has been fixed, we erase it. If anything needs to be added, we add it. And then that way, when the employees come in, we are able to update our maintenance tracker. Now, once our weekly plan is made, at this point, the office manager should be in. So the field manager will be able to consult with the office manager, get any updates on any calls that came in from customers requesting rapid support, and we can adjust that accordingly. After we've prepared the morning meeting, Next, we will actually have the morning meeting. Our goal is to complete the morning meeting with 20 minutes. As you can see, we start at 6 and we end at 6:20. That's another video for the Monday morning meetings and exactly how they unfold. However, we target 20 minutes for that Monday morning meeting, and we target approximately about 10 minutes for More Learning Mondays. And More Learning Mondays will be, again, another video, but the intent there is to show, at the very least, just one video to the employees, the employee-wide, of a lesson learned. It could be a good lesson learned, an example of a great video inspection, or a great project management effort that occurred, or it could be a point of learning. For example, we conducted this video inspection and we drove right past this multiple fracture without coding it correctly. Once that is complete, and we have about 5 minutes to talk with any crew members that we need, and then we go into our pre-mission brief and oversee the crew departure, which is another video. But all of this work that we've just covered is largely done before the employees come in. How thorough you do this work will dictate how good your Monday morning meeting goes. And the quality of the Monday morning meeting will directly affect how well the rest of the week goes, especially when it comes to asset and personnel allocation and integrating in any effects from the weather. And of course, prioritizing projects according to the current operations tracker and any input from the office manager that was received the day prior.